Değerli dostlar, bugün Berlindəyik. Konfrans keçirdi. Cənubi Qafqazda demokratiyanın qələbəsi, avtoritar rejimlərin təzyiqinə qarşı necə mübarizə etmək olar. Burada yəni Gürcüstanlar təmsil edildilər, Gürcüstanı təmsil edirdilər, Azərbaycanı və Ermənistanı. Azərbaycan tərəfi təmsil edən oldu Emin Aslanlı, hüquqşünas. Çox maraqlı diskusiya keçdi. Biz də öz növbəmizdə bura dəvət olunduq. Xalq parlamentin üzvü kimi bugün iştirak etdik.
Both economically, globally, so where do you see the reason for that?
It's open. First, thank you for invitations, and I'm really thankful for all the guests in here. I mean, we cannot say like there is one reason what's happening in Azerbaijan. It's multiple factors, combination of factors coming together and having the situations, and we can go in deep in these factors, which will take a lot of time to go in deep. But what very essential for me, what's the defining moment when after the Karabakh War, Azerbaijan President İlham Əliyev got the legitimacy from the society. Before, he was very fragile, and he couldn't get legitimacy through election, because all elections that we know in Azerbaijan, we have never had any fair, independent election. Through this legitimacy, he has got more power, and he could do what he could do. You know, it's like he was powerful enough to put aside everything, every pressure, influence, and to deal with the rest of the civil society, major organizations, even political groups and political parties, academicians, basically all the distant voices that was louder. And Baku Samada was one of them. Within this context, it was because he was writing a lot of articles, basically analyzing the genesis of authoritarian in Azerbaijan, what type of authoritarian regimes we have in Azerbaijan. And his voices was very critical, and it was heard by the government, let's say. So the government punished him. We know that how the court system is running in Azerbaijan, and we have no independent courts, and we have no fair trial. All the cases are fabricated and bogus, the charges are bogus. So they could easily arrest Baku Samada on treason. But it's very paradoxical, because we are now in near peace with Armenia, and everybody knows that's the political case, and they frame it in a way that he has done a treason. So if we sign a peace, what will be the fate of the Baku Samada is also interesting for me. Yeah, I mean, this briefly the answer to your questions, but we can go to factors, a lot of factors, geopolitical new reality or internal new reality that we have, and go on the factors that actually created these situations that Ilham Aliyev go after the civil society and major organizations, and basically the systematic repression.
If I may add a question, there are probably several reasons why Aliyev is, in a way, only reluctantly criticized by international actors and mainly by the EU. One of them may be that gas, Azerbaijan is very important for gas delivery, a supplier of gas. But another important reason is probably its role as a regional power. And of course, the prospect for a peace deal with Armenia. Is a peace deal close? Because we have heard that the treaty text is kind of ready, but since then months have gone, and we don't see any kind of concrete deal coming, and we hear often about new requests coming from Aliyev. And is he playing a game, or is this kind of serious in a way that you expect this peace deal to be signed soon?
I mean, in Azerbaijan, it's not easy to get into minds of Aliyev and see what he thinks. And I think very few people know what's going to happen. He has this phrase, I know what I do when, you know, it's like this kind of phrase he has. And I think we all speculate about these policies. It's like, and it's very not surprising, but we always heard information coming from Armenia, Pashinyan specifically. Like he says, okay, we have all the articles are ready, we are basically made a deal about the articles, and we are going to sign a peace. So it's, we haven't heard from Azerbaijan side any kind of like, oh, you know, we have made a deal, we are going to sign a peace deal. He's using his like the power that he has, the leverage that he has, as much as possible to get more benefit from the deal. Yeah, you were right that the peace was one of the reasons why Azerbaijani government was never pressured enough, or the European Union or even German government was not so critical on the human rights situation in Azerbaijan, because they were waiting. I mean, we were literally heard from the diplomats and then politicians. We had that chance to meet in Europe. They were basically saying two reasons. We wait for peace. Second, we don't want Azerbaijan to be under the